AJ, your host, from head to toe. Paranormal Experience.
Those are not in like our physical form. A lot of times, they're just energy.
And I remember seeing something tall, just real tall and dark, just hooded.
See, what I like doing is finding out the research behind.
I think it's the
Practical research. The 13th most haunted place on Earth is Athens, Ohio.
combination of things here in Athens. You have strange things, ghosts, poltergeist activity. The room with the 666. Wait a minute, let me figure this out. Yeah. Spooky cemetery. You throw in a crying angel, a haunted mental health center, residence halls that
people started telling me, oh, you live in the haunted room in Wilson Hall. Lights, curling irons, radios, all would go on and off on their own.
You can hear what sounds like marbles going across the ceiling.
have ghostly inhabitants walking the halls at night, and you end up with a pretty spooky but pretty special place.
All this strange stuff started happening. Things started flying around the room.
You couldn't really even make out her face, but you could see through her.
Sometimes we'd hear rattling inside.
I can't name one person I know on campus, and I know quite a few people that haven't had some experience or know someone that's had an experience.
There was a distinct sound of somebody or something moving things around in the room that we had just come out of.
I decided not to stay in my room anymore. I stayed with friends.
I've met a couple of people that have felt very uncomfortable here from the start and said that they will never ever set foot in Athens, Ohio again. You'll be surprised how many people call you and say, oh, you won't believe what's going on in our hall right now.
The Spook File is a collection of newspaper and eyewitness accounts of unexplained events in Athens.
With any resolution.
Documents in the Spook File reveal a disturbing link between 5 local cemeteries and the town of Athens.
The Spook File is the most heavy.
When these 5 cemeteries are connected, they form a pentagram around the city of Athens.
Used item in our department. Yes, there are all kinds of unusual events and unexplained events that may be paranormal, and there are certainly a lot of unexplained events that never end up.
Athens, with the center of this being at the very center of campus. As you branch out, you begin to hit residence halls and the ridges, the mental health center, and you hit areas that are just chock full, really, of ghost stories and of legends behind them. And part of me is really excited to go into the ridges because it's an opportunity that not a lot of people have. To be able to get in, there are several reasons why there's so much stuff going on here, and I'm going to explain a few. I decided to take people out into where it actually happens. Sometimes we see something, explore and see what we can find, and there's so many legends.
Originally, when it would open its doors, it was a big sign over the wrought iron facade was the lunatic asylum.
Now, of course, it has this new name, the Ridges, to help describe, perhaps,
Some stuff that we really just can't explain away.
In 1873, the Athens Lunatic Asylum opened its doors.
The Ridges at night is I think a horror movie waiting to happen.
its geographic look, a structure of 18 million bricks.
And there on the top of this hill are these Victorian, beautiful but very spooky, very unsettling buildings. When you imagine what a 19th century mental hospital would have looked like, this is it. There are some of the rooms you can look through and still see shackles on the wall where the inmates were shackled. 46, 48.
The asylum was a regular stop for a physician who conducted extreme medical procedures. He was known as Dr. Lobotomy.
He would.
Now you're in the basement of Building 18. Everything's connected by either the basements or tunnels, which you see the tunnel going through.
Travel around the country in a station wagon, and his little tools, his ice picks. And this guy could do up to 20 lobotomies a day, because it would only take 30, 40 seconds to run that ice pick through somebody's temple and spin it around a little bit and destroy their frontal lobes. And then off he'd go.
Down at the end over there.
Oh, look at this. New patients, records 1943, 1945.
Oh, God! In 1979, the asylum was closed. The patients were transferred, all but one.
A woman disappeared. They searched the institution 3 times, couldn't find her anywhere.
The family had missed her and inquired as to where she was. So they had made searches, and I guess they had made several searches, like in 2-week intervals, but they never found her.
Sometimes you'll actually look up there and you'll see the window and they see something peering down upon them, which obviously creeps anyone out.
Many people report an apparition.
And in this one window, you could just barely see a presence. I promise you, I know it sounds exaggerated, but you could tell there was something up there.
Bats are not fun.
When the missing woman's body was eventually found, it had left a bizarre imprint.
And she come over, possibly, to look out the window.
Year after year after year of sightings of a woman moving from room to room through the windows. Let's see what's going on.
I thought he went over here. Maybe to see somebody to yell for help. But she took her clothes off and folded them real neatly and stacked them in the window. And then she laid down here.
This, of course, freaked her out greatly. Really frightened her. No one heard anything for 3 or 4 days. They went in to check on the student to see what.
See where she lay down.
It feels funny. Like I got chills when I walked in here. Really.
What was wrong?
A resident committed suicide after claiming to be haunted by a woman who died in the Athens lunatic asylum.
A student on the 4th floor committed suicide under strange circumstances, and ever since then, it has really held the reputation as the most haunted place on campus.
In 1981, a student who touched the stain claimed the dead woman's spirit followed her back to her dorm room.
One night she was asleep. She opened her eyes and saw a face floating level with her head. It was a woman's face.
From head to toe. Paranormal Experiencez.
Those are not in like our physical form. A lot of times, they're just energy.
And I remember seeing something tall, just real tall and dark, just hooded.
See, what I like doing is finding out the research behind